Hello, this is Matthew Robert Payne. This is a video called Visiting Michael Jackson in Heaven. As I was preparing my coffee, I searched for the image of Michael Jackson's house, and I was given the image of this large bed in a bedroom, and the bed was full of stuffed toys and jam-packed, full of stuffed toys, and Michael was laying on it around the bedroom, and the bedroom was round. Around the bedroom on the wall was one continuous picture of little children playing with Jesus. And as you're aware, if you've been following my books on heaven, every picture, every painting that is in heaven becomes a portal. And so Michael can lay in his bed and see children playing with Jesus and just watch him as he goes to sleep. But the interesting thing about this portal is it comes forward in time too. So the little children can slip out of playing with Jesus and come into Michael Jackson's room and play with him. And it's really interesting. I've had two visions of Jesus where he came forward in time. Like I had Jesus when he'd been whipped, and he was dressed in a red cloak full of blood, and he came and visited me at a church one day in the worship. And it was between when he was whipped and put on the cross, and he came forward in time and visited me from earth. And that was a powerful encounter. And another time he came and visited me from earth too, from when he was on earth, and he came forward. And I remember that was the first time I'd felt the glory of God. In a service. And I recognized the vision of Jesus was different, that it was Jesus from earth, not Jesus from heaven. But so I'd known Jesus can come forward in time, but I never knew he could take children with him forward in time. So Jesus can appear in Michael Jackson's bedroom and bring children with him and play with children, and Michael can have an effect on children on earth in Jesus' day. If you look upwards from the bed on the roof, there's pictures of the galaxies. There's a painting of the cosmos, and I'm not sure that's a portal. You can go to the cosmos, but we'll just leave you that. So I've done a number of books with Michael Jackson, and I thought I knew it all when it came to him, and it's obvious that I don't know it all. What are you doing in heaven? I'm recording music, Matthew, but as you're preparing coffee, I told you more information about my life. And now I've been promoted in heaven to work with children, and I'm like a mentor to children. And Princess Diana's been doing that for years, and I've visited her with the children before, but now I've been given the same job. And so I'm still writing music. It's just not taking all my time now. I'm established in heaven as an artist now, and I'm working with children, and I dearly love children. I've got a theme park outside the back of my house that children can play in, and my house on earth was entertainment for children, and I've got a house in heaven, the same. So my life revolves around children. I just love children, and um, so children are just so innocent, and especially the ones in heaven have never been corrupted by sin. They don't know what it's like to be naughty. Um, they haven't got the sin nature. Um, so it's really enjoyable to work with them and meals, mend their hearts. It's just a really bad cough. So I do spend time recording songs in heaven and performing. Most nights I'm performing. In heaven, you don't have to spend hours traveling to a location. You can just think with your mind where you want to be, and you can appear there. You can do sound checks straight away. You don't have to plan to travel to the location. Heaven is an extremely large place. It's not just in one community. There's suburbs, and it's a whole city. So there's many venues to play at, and I'm out most of the nights. I really enjoy meeting with fans and going over my music with them who comment on the database. And we've got a database in heaven that people can write to and contact you as a musician and suggest changes to your lyrics and to your music, or give you feedback on your songs. And sometimes I'll meet with them and collaborate with them to improve my music. And it's always worthwhile to make structural changes to your music to make it professional. And I operate at a spirit of excellence. So if something's perfect, then I want to embrace it. So anyone that can bring perfection to my music is warmly encouraged. And so I'm often meeting with fellow musicians and fans and having dinner with them and discussing music and singing music at the table, and working out differences. Bring them to the studio and we record it. Often times after the concert, I go out and spend time with certain fans. Fans are wonderful people in heaven with bright lives and lives that are going someplace. Everyone in heaven uh, contributes in some way to the rest of heaven and is beautiful like that. And I really enjoy working and producing music for adoring fans, and it's really special when you hear Jesus singing one of your songs, um, and he can sing one of your songs that got 146, for instance, and he can be singing it. Another thing they didn't mention is everyone's song gets played once or twice in the week, but the songs that have been played once that come in the top 150 get played about 4 times. So everyone knows the top 150 by the end of the week because they've been played a number of times. So Jesus will be singing one of your songs, and it's really encouraging. And Jesus is such an encourager, such an amazing person to know. So I'm really enjoying my work with the children. They really enjoy me. I've become very much Christ-like in my actions and my behaviors, and it's really encouraging that Jesus trusts me with the little children. They're so innocent, and I'm not sure people on earth would trust me with little children, with all the rumors that went on recently on earth about my life. So I also am used as a spiritual mentor for people. I not only mentor and teach the children, but I mentor adults in the faith, in new beginners classes, and I run classes for people new to the faith, and we work on subjects such as intimacy with God and humility and patience. And it's good to be patient and humble, and we work on perfecting holiness. And you'd think all those things exist in heaven. You'd think that someone would be in control of their flesh and be humble and patient. But these behaviors take a while to come out of a person. And not everyone in heaven is perfect. And everyone is growing and on a journey in heaven. And so there's 3 things I do. work with the children and a mentor, like teacher to the children. I'm a mentor to young adults, young Christians, and I'm a musician, and I produce worship and contemporary songs for the listeners in heaven. I'm so happy to be talking to you and being included with other wonderful singers. It's Matthew's friend, Dundee, who's editing this book, that chose the singers for this book, and I'm pleased that I got chosen among the 9 musicians, and it's a great joy to be part of a book that will challenge people and change people and give people hope. What do you like about heaven? I love the fact that in heaven you can be an individual, you can be fully yourself, you can be fully engaged in who you are. You don't have to wear a face, you don't have to put on any pretense. You can just be totally be free to be yourself. And I wasn't able to be myself on earth. I wasn't able to be me. People expected a certain behavior from you, and there was always pressure on you to behave and perform. But in heaven, I'm just myself, and I'm encouraged to be myself. And I don't get mobbed when I go out in public like I used to do on earth. People are told clearly by the Holy Spirit not to mob me. People know who I am in heaven, and they recognize me, but they're respectful and kind and compassionate and loving towards me. I love people. I love hanging out with people and going out for dinner and going out for lunch with people. I love socializing. I love going to theme parks and riding roller coasters and getting candy floss and playing games and dunking people in the water. And I love all the children's games. I love to take the children to theme parks, not only to the theme park at my place, but to other theme parks in heaven. I really enjoy going to movies in heaven. There's so many great actors and actresses in heaven and directors. There's such an active film crews in heaven producing quality movies. So I like going to movies. I like going to restaurants. I like going to theme parks. I love performing. There's so much to do in heaven. There's such a wonderful life ahead for you if you can see your way to make it to heaven. I like the friendliness of people. Another saint said it in one of the early books that the love of a stranger in heaven can't be compared to your closest friend on earth. The love in heaven is just at another level, and it's so refreshing to be loved like this. It's so refreshing to have people adore you and build you up and lift you up and encourage your gifts. People make such heartfelt feedback on my songs, and honestly, I find myself crying at the effect that I've had on a person, to know that I can have such a deep effect. And one of the saints mentioned that you can speak after your concert for 2 hours, but it ends up being 2 weeks worth of time. So you can meet all the fans in a stadium, um, and that powerful interaction with the fans just takes your music to another level. The feedback you get on certain songs is just amazing, um, and it really helps you to go back into the studio and edit your songs or craft better songs and more meaningful songs. Um, Songwriting is writing on the hearts of people and affecting, like playing an instrument with people's hearts. And it's a really fine tuned uh, device that you're using to stir people's emotions and adjust their heart and make adjustments to people's emotions. And it's a real handy technique to change people's lives. And getting feedback of those people, how it's affecting them, what they think, what they suggest for changes, what they liked about that lyric, what challenged them in that lyric, what made them feel a better person in that song. It's all helpful information. And without the time expansion in heaven, you couldn't do this on earth. You wouldn't be able to have so much uh, time with fans. And because there's no security problems and there's no sin in heaven, there's no violence, uh, people are willing to wait around and speak to you. And there's no pushing forward or fans wanting to get to you and pushing past people and pushing people over. There's none of that. And people wait patiently to speak to you. Um, and once they know that they're going to speak to you, then they're fine speaking to their neighbor until it's time to speak to you. We have the equivalent of iPhones in heaven, and people get selfies and put up the pictures in their house. And it's a really big thing. I can touch a person's photo and it can put my signature on the photo. Um, so they not only get a photo with you, but a signed, I can speak, I can speak a blessing and it'll write it on the photo. So that's a technology that you could do on Earth, and that's what we do in the meet and greets. People pay big money on Earth to do a meet and greet with a musician, and and in heaven, we're able to do that with a whole stadium full of people every concert, and so I can perform for 2 hours and meet and greet for 2 hours, and it's 4 hours of my time. But then I can go out to a restaurant and have something to eat. Um, we don't have to sleep in heaven. We can choose to sleep. Uh, uh, in heaven, well, on earth too, your spirit is always awake. Your spirit doesn't need to sleep. So part of you can be off doing things uh, during your sleep in heaven. I'm just having trouble working out what time um, I started. I think it was 2:40, so it's 3:04, so it's 3:24 minutes. So what is your message for us? Be free. Be free to be yourself. Be comfortable in your own skin. And if you need therapy, if you need to go to a counselor, ask the counselor, is it okay to be me? Ask the counselor, is it okay to be myself with people? And they'll teach you how to have boundaries and how to set yourself safety precautions with your personality. But be yourself, learn to be yourself. And I encourage you to learn to hear the voice of Jesus, be directed by the Holy Spirit. But the other books have covered that, and so I won't belabor that point. But I want you to experience true freedom. It would be really beneficial for you to find yourself. You can do a Myers-Briggs analysis, temperament analysis on yourself and find what temperament you are and learn to work with that temperament. Learn the occupations that temperament is good at, and change your occupation to suit your temperament, and find out the strengths and the weaknesses of your temperament and embrace them. Become more aligned with who you are. Become more conversant with who you are and who you're designed to be. There's a real freedom in being able to just behave the way that you choose to behave. So make sure you're not hurting people or damaging people. Don't be sinning when it comes to other people, but don't be sinning against yourself. Don't be damaging your own psyche by avoiding people or avoiding situations because you don't feel comfortable. Learn to be comfortable within your own skin and have the freedom to love yourself and embrace yourself and embrace the freedom of the reality of knowing yourself. And that's one of the things that I like so much about heaven is I'm able to truly be myself. It took a long while in heaven to be given the job to look after children. When I saw Princess Diana doing it, I was always pleased that she was a fashion designer, but I got excited when she got the job looking after children. And something in my heart said, I'd love to do that as a job. And then I was told I could. And it just made my heart jump for joy because heaven saw what was in me. And so you need to be true to yourself and be encouraged that people are going to notice, people are going to recognize you for who you really are. And you don't have to be discouraged by mockers or people who come against you or speak against you. You don't have to be worried about what other people think about you. Even though it does worry you and it does concern you, uh, you need to learn to keep those offences to yourself and get over them quickly. So if you enjoyed my interview, post a review on Amazon and say, I like Michael Jackson. I'll read all the reviews on Amazon. And if I read your review, I'll say a prayer for you. God bless.